You never know, it might actually be working. Good evening, Mike here, Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To. Sorry, just getting set up. Tried to make sure that there was no issues with the stream. No lagging and all that kind of stuff. Hopefully the monitor's in the right place. And
it's working.
It's working. Is it? Do we have sound lag? Do we have some accuracy? How's that working? Stuart Cleary says, no lag, amazing. We are lagless this evening. Right, so I found out the problem. The problem is I was trying to stream from my camera in 4K and the Elgato box. I think that's, yeah, that must be what it is, because the Elgato does no, the Elgato should do it, but anyway. Hey ho, these things are sent to try us. And hopefully you're all having a fantastic and blessed Saturday evening. It is Saturday the 19th of February, the 19th of November in the year of our Lord 2022. And yeah, it's going to be an interesting stream. Tonight's stream, we're going to talk about some hot deals, how to get deals, how to make sure you're not getting ripped off. Also, this is an interactive show. This is a live stream that we do on Saturday evenings at 8 PM UK time. If you've not come here before and you're wondering what the heck this is all about, what is that baldy bloke from Bristol talking about? This is an interactive show, so I want to hear from you. I want to know your thoughts. We've got a live chat open, which I can see on my screen over there. So if you've got any comments or questions, feel free to let us know. I want to know about what you're expecting to get out of Black Friday or Cyber Monday or any of the sales really leading up to the Christmas festivities and New Year's, all that kind of stuff. What are your plans? What are you looking at buying? What are those hot items that will be the thing that will persuade you to part with some of your hard-earned cash? So, yeah. Hopefully this is all working. YouTube have already said this is a good time to insert an advert, which I've already done. Awesome stuff. And it appears we've already got some chat revenue, so I should address that very quickly before we proceed with things. If everything is working, so there is a super chat come from Mick. Does that come up? Yes, bloody hell. That actually worked as well. Everything's working tonight. I'm very surprised, if I'm honest. Mick Woods is saying, hi everybody, should that be called Black Fortnite? I think you're probably right there. It does seem to go on and on for longer and longer. It's almost the moment that we go from midnight on October the 31st into November, immediately all the retailers are like, ah, Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and they all jump on the bandwagon. Most sites have been doing it for at least a week. So there have been some bargains already this week. If you're relatively new here or you've not been part of our community for very long, we've got a really cool Discord chat channel, which we'll probably put some links in at some point. There is a room in there called Bargains No Chat, and that is basically what you should be keeping an eye on. So if you're looking out for bargains, all of our fantastic contributors from all around the globe posting deals in there so we can all make the most of it and hopefully save a few quid here and there, which is absolutely awesome. There was another super chat. So we're at $12. £12? I don't know. Where's it? Oh, Ugly Bob, £2. Disco, disco, disco. There we go. Thank you, Bob. And it looks like you just sent another one as well. There we go. Bob says YouTube ads are ass-ho. They are, but sadly for me and for Mrs. Churchill sat over there in the corner at the admin desk, it does pay our bills. So ad revenue is a necessity, unfortunately, for us. Anyway, let's move on from that. Let's not put too much of a downer on YouTube. YouTube, for all of its kind of evil things that go on, I think a lot of people have made some really good friends and some really cool communities due to content creators like myself and others on YouTube and becoming part of the kind of ever-growing family of live interactive TV and stuff like that, I guess. It is pretty cool. It is pretty cool. So back to Mick's question. I will address the other super chat. Won't be a second. It said, most so-called deals are the same prices as normal or even more. Anyway, I look forward to the month selling a hang-up to cheer the soul. Well, we'll try and do what we can. No guarantees that there will be any cheering of any souls here, but YouTube ad revenue is ass-ho, as we've already heard. Super chat there from our good friend Stuart Cleary. over in the Emerald Isle, is it? I guess so. Geography has never been my strong point. And Stuart says, early Black Friday deals about, but actual bargains are scarce. Yes, that I think is going to be one of those ongoing issues that we're always going to have. A lot of the time there are going to be companies that are slightly unscrupulous or basically just taking advantage of the whole situation, and you will see their prices creep up before the sales period. Now, this isn't entirely unheard of. If you live in the United Kingdom and you've ever heard of a company called DFS, which sells sofas and homewares, furniture, etc., you will be quite aware that there's probably only about a week or maybe 2 weeks of the entire year where they don't have a sale on, at which point all their prices are literally double. So yeah, it's one of those things. It's all about marketing at the end of the day, which is again why it's really helpful to have a cool community to be a part of, so people can guide you and ask you questions and think and say, what do you think of this deal? Is it any good? Am I going to save money? Is it worth doing? Fun enough, actually today on the Discord we had somebody talking about getting a motherboard, which was a B550 Strix-A, I believe, if I remember rightly. And at the moment it was $159.99, I believe. And just with a quick little bit of scouring around between myself and Seam at Night, we managed to find exactly the same motherboard, an open box deal for £10 less. And also there was one with maybe a couple of accessories missing for about £20 less. And also we did throw into the mix the fact that obviously Black Fridays are coming. Do you want to hold on? Maybe consider what you're buying or looking at buying. Look at the price now. If you're this close now to Black Friday, literally we are less than a week away now. Potentially, if you don't need something desperately, then it's probably worth waiting those extra 6 days patiently, just to see if by chance that product that you're actually after is going to be reduced. And potentially it could be reduced significantly. At the moment, the economy is basically screwed, as pretty much most of you are aware, especially if you are a homeowner or you have a mortgage or you pay electricity bills, or you basically are one of those human beings that actually has to eat and drink on a daily basis. Money doesn't go as far as it used to, for various reasons, which we won't go into on this particular show. But yes, everything is becoming considerably more expensive. So trying to save a few pence here and there actually is very, very good idea. And in fact, Kath and myself, we are what I would consider thrifty individuals. Tight, some would say. Tight, like a tiger. I can't ever do the Australian accent. Some people would say that we are tight. And we do go to the shops most evenings looking for those yellow sticker deals. And in fact, tonight we did come up with an absolute blinder. Managed to purchase our tea for tonight, tomorrow's lunch and tomorrow's supper, and potentially the day after as well. And I think we still got change out of about £12. So that's basically 8 meals. That's not bad. That's not bad at all. And as you can probably see by my demeanour, I'm not exactly wasting calories away here. I'm certainly getting my money's worth out of it. Anyway, Oakley Bob says, I thought it was South African. It was meant to be South African, but I deliberately put in Australian just to confuse things even further. So anyway, tired and silly, as always. Hopefully you're all having a great Saturday evening. Into the night. Looking for, yeah, up until the time that we started streaming. Obviously, for some people, there is going to be the football coming up, which I don't have a TV license, so I'm not going to be watching any of the football, and I probably wouldn't anyway, to be honest with you, for various reasons. But actually, let us know in the comment section. It's all part of the interaction. Let us know in the chat, who are you rooting for in the World Cup? Who's your team? Who are they playing? Are you excited? Have you already downloaded the apps? Have you stocked up on the Budweiser? Have you planned your evenings around the World Cup happening? To be honest with you, I've got no idea what the scheduling is. I'm guessing because it's played in Qatar, I believe that is how you pronounce the country, that there will be a significant time lag or delay. I'm not entirely sure. Are the matches going to be in the middle of the night? I have no idea. I know the time zone for Bristol. Other than that, I'm basically screwed. I really am. Stuart Cleary is rooting for England. Good on you. Michael Thompson says, howdy mothers from Australia. How you doing? Mookie MC says, can you decline a TV license in the UK? Yeah, I did about...
Yes.
Hell yeah. About 3 years ago, I think we absolutely...
About 2, I think.
We haven't watched TV as a regular thing for probably 7 years, 6, 7 years. Yeah. TV for me, I think with the internet and the way that there is so much information just at your fingertips, watching normal terrestrial TV is something of a... It's almost like a chore. You kind of got to be there at the right time to catch the moment. I know there's DVRs and you can schedule programs to record and you can watch them whenever you like, but the older days, like Christmas Day, this is one of the key things which I remember in my brain, is Christmas Day. One of the best viewing figures ever was Dirty Den divorcing Angie on EastEnders, that traditional English program, on Christmas Day. After the Christmas dinner, handed her a present, which was the divorce papers. And that was, I believe, the highest viewed television thing ever at that point. Something like about 30 million people were watching that at the same time on Christmas Day. Those days are long gone. These days, viewing figures are plummeted. People watch stuff whenever they want to. Obviously, some of you are watching this live. Some of you will be watching this as a replay, which goes and proves my point.
Did you watch that EastEnders one, though?
I think I did.
I didn't. And I was quite into EastEnders back then.
Pretty sure I did. Can't remember. I seem to remember I did, but just because I remember it doesn't mean it actually happened. That is something that comes with old age, my friends. William Bodie, I've just noticed that one there, says, Qatar, too much politics in it. I don't care. I think so. Jan says, too much going on there in Qatar. Yeah, we could turn this into a real political debate and discuss the pros and cons of the host country and the kind of the politics behind that, but I don't think we should. But definitely, if you want to join us over on our Discord at some point, you're more than welcome to discuss political natures over there. We don't really have any filters as such, as long as you're relatively respectful to other people. Having a disagreement is a good thing, in my opinion. There's not enough of that in this world. We need to disagree with people. We need to air our side of the argument on all sorts of things. So definitely something to definitely do.
Unfortunately, not on YouTube.
Yeah, we can't do it on YouTube because you get banned. Actually, before we go any further, there's something I have to do, and it's been bugging me. So for those of you that are relatively new here, you will probably know that I sit basically on a milking stool. And what is the one thing that I always do? I call it a drummer stool. I don't care. It's a stool of some sort.
The milking stool's got 3 legs.
I've actually got my Boulez chair literally there, which is arm's length away. But physically getting it to fit in this desk, I've had to pull the desk forward a little bit because, long story, well, it's a story, I'll tell you anyway. Thanks to Ugly Bob, bless your heart, he sent us a 5-meter DisplayPort cable, which seemed to have a fault with it, which I still haven't managed to send back yet. We've gone to the post office and we've done it, and the postie said, sorry, the Amazon system is down at the moment, so we can't take it. Okay, whatever. So we'll do it again. Anyway, so I've gone back to the 2-meter cable, which is plugged into there. So that is why you can see this cable down the side here. It isn't an integral part of our design philosophy. It is basically, I have no choice but to have this cable here. So that's plugged into the monitor. And I've had to pull the table closer. So I can't fit my nice chair in here, so I have to sit on this horrible thing. Well then, it's fine. I can move around on it. But I always run over my microphone cable. That is something which I am tethered to my camera. As you see, there is a wire here. I've got a lav mic, which you can probably see here. And hello, you can hear. That is there. So I'm forever running this thing over because of the wheels on my chair. So I decided to treat myself and also some of the other chairs in the house to some of these bad boys. These are GBL's office chair wheels. Basically, they're rollerblade wheels with bearings in, which are a push fit. So you just take out your old wheels off your chair and you stick these bad boys in. And they're lubed up and ready to go, so to speak. So that's what I'm going to do. I am going to actually install them in my chair right now, live and direct on this very stream. I know you lot can hardly contain yourselves, but please remain calm. If you're feeling this too much, turn off for a little while, let your heart rate go down, and then obviously come back when your heart rate is stabilized a little bit. If you can't contain yourself to this excitement, but it's got to be done. So here is my milking stool, so to speak, and it's got these horrible, horrible, shitty wheels, and as you can see, they're absolutely filthy. So what we're going to do is we're going to take off these and we're going to replace them with the new ones. Kath, I think, is going to be able to put a link for these fantastic wheels.
I'm not, because I've got...
In the chat, if she can get towards her keyboard. Actually, they paused the video anyway. Let's see if we can go to our overhead so you can get a proper good shot of this. Look at that, ladies and gentlemen. This is your Saturday night in HD, as they say in the UK. Some people do. Right, so this should be very simple and I should not be able to break my monitor. So, just pull that out. One shitty caster, Two shitty casters, Three shitty casters. That's enough of that, sorry. As you can tell, I've probably had too much sugar a little bit earlier in the day today. Right, here's our new caster. So this should be literally as simple as plug and pray. So push. There we go. This is the ultimate chair upgrade. Don't worry about your RAM, don't worry about your processor, don't worry about your graphics card, don't worry about your power supply. Get yourself some casters for life.
Casters, I can't type it in because I can't reach my keyboard.
GBL, casters for life. And actually, ironically, these are actually casters for life because there is a little thing inside which if you fill out, you get a lifetime warranty with these things. Whether it's the lifetime of you, whether it's the lifetime of their company, whether it's the lifetime of the casters, it doesn't really clarify, but there we go. We're all good. We're ready to go. So there you go. There are the new casters fully installed, and you pretty much... Of course, I'm still spinning. I am now probably going to go...
It's a bit too technical.
Look at that. Smooth AF. It's like my head.
You're like Michael Jackson going along now. All smooth and...
And it's given me about another inch, which is always a handy thing to have. Excellent stuff. I love these. These are cool. Bob says, look at him move. He's like a young Stephen Hawkins. Ouch. Thank you. Ah, cool. These are awesome. Mookie MC says those new casters will make Mike sit slightly higher, I think. Yeah, it does. I have definitely entered into the upper stratosphere. I do feel a bit sore. You can see all the Mike's Unboxing paraphernalia on the t-shirt now, which is awesome. So, do yourself a favour. Grab yourself some Chorton in the Wheelies casters for your chair. And enjoy your new chair life. That's actually pretty cool.
Can you do a backflip on them?
Can I do a backflip? I doubt it. Ugly Bob says we can see all of your boobs now. Make them shake. Casters, they got RTX mics, says Welly Bob. What happens when you sit still? Do they lock? They don't. So there is potential for me to go ass over tit, which obviously feel free to laugh your asses off.
Because I will.
Kath will. She'll be literally in a puddle on the floor.
Oh, bless.
Michael Thompson's got a question here. Hi, Mike and Kath. If we use your eBay affiliate link and it opens my tablet's eBay app, do you still get the affiliate kickback? I believe so. I believe so. I think so, yes. But thank you. Thank you for doing that. Bristol Davros, exterminate. Missing RGB on those casters. Now that is the thing. They do actually, not this particular company, but there are other unscrupulous companies which will sell these casters with addressable, no, sorry, not addressable, with...
The going time of your mother.
Basically, they won't sync with your motherboard, they're not IQ supported, but you can get RGB lights for your casters for your chair, which I am very tempted to get some. But I did think then, because they only turn on when the wheel's moving, so literally they're going to be off probably a good 99.5% of the time, up until the point of where you're, right,
You're wiggling around all the time.
I can't play this game any longer, I really need to have to use the toilet, I'm going for a pee, look at my RGB casters. Not exactly stream worthy, but I am tempted to get some RGB ones nonetheless. We'll see. Jay Gordon says it's good until the cat's... good till you run the cat's tail over. Yes, I'd imagine... Well, I think...
Just run her own tail over.
In theory, this would be actually better because being a single rubber blade would actually be better than two plastic ones, I think.
I'm getting wedged.
Because this one will be giving you kind of miniature sausage rolls, whereas the other one will just be like cutting a worm in half. Absolutely fine. Brilliant Random View says, Mike, when do you play Fortnite? I play Fortnite normally at the end of my working day, which generally is somewhere in the region of about 10 o'clock-ish, maybe 9, 10 o'clock, depending on what day it is. Yesterday was an absolute nightmare of a day. I was doing some testing. For those of you that haven't already noticed, in the background, I do actually have a new AIO in the PC behind me, sent over from our good friends at Deepcool. So this is the Deepcool LT720, which I still think is a stupid name for a 360mm AIO, unless they're expecting you to do push-pull, which would then give you 720mm of fans, because 360 times 2. That is maths. But it looks really nice. I quite like it. It's got a very bizarre Deepcool kind of... It's not geometric, it's basically kind of rectangles and squares with an infinity mirror. And I do quite like my infinity mirror stuff, but I'm not too sure how I feel about it. I'll be completely honest with you. I did do a very short video showing that off. And it's a very unusual design, but it does work well. And actually, having replaced my Arctic Freezer 360, which this is about 3 degrees cooler on average, for both the 3600 and the 3900, so it's an improvement, certainly. It's added a little bit of an RGB, and it was nice to try something new. So anyway, there will be a full review coming out of that very shortly, probably about a week's time, I think. But yeah, pretty good. Alessa says AIOs are water cooling for amateurs. I would agree. I would certainly agree.
Robert?
Robert.
Got a slightly damp.
Oh, he's got a slightly damp patch on the back of the motherboard. Anything to worry about? Not really. Sometimes you do get that on motherboards if they've been manufactured. Sometimes they put like a protective coating on when they're being soldered, or maybe when they're being packaged. So it might be just the fact that that's not evaporated off. It could be humidity rated. So if, like in a house, if you've got hot air on the inside and you've got a cold surface on the outside, when the two meet you get condensation. If it's condensation, that might be a little bit more concerning if you've got high humidity. Currently in our room, this is the best humidity we've had in ages. We are currently at 25.2 degrees Celsius, so it's a nice summer's day here at Mub HQ, and 55% humidity, which is very good, because recently it's been in the 65 to 70% mark, which is basically damp. Not in a good way. Ultimate Tech Hub says, where is your South Park beanie cap? It's not South Park. That's upsetting. Really Random Review says, I pooed myself, lol, dabbed it off, worried that it is... I'm worried about what it is. I don't understand.
You have to go up a bit.
Oh, right. It looks pretty good.
Wow, I find a sticky stamp patch behind my MOS.
You do find actually, behind MOSFETs, VRMs, etc., it's very common to actually find residue behind there. You quite often get it on them as well because of, I haven't got them here at the moment, you get those little thermal pads which go between your heat sinks and VRM, and the kind of oil comes out of those. Because it gets so hot, the oil kind of evaporates out of the pad and you get that kind of sticky residue from there. Sometimes that can be on both sides of the board as well. William Bodie says, I'm drunk now on some beer and Amarone wine. Are you going to show the XL screwdrivers? Go on then, let's get the XL screwdrivers out. See if I can run myself over. I can't whiz over anywhere. Too old for that kind of malarkey. Oh, I have to move a chair now. Yeah.
Oh, you're just still poppy now. Why don't stand on it?
Hashtag blame Bodie.
Oh, it's okay, Pop.
It's alright, Pops.
You lie back out in front of the fire.
I really should invest in a wireless mic. Like the 3 or 4 I've got up there. So these were a gift from William Bodie. Schreiben Render Extra Line. That was German. Jesus, there's 6 of them. So, these are mental. So, this is for unscrewing basically the camera lens at a distance. Jesus.
Oh, can you just scratch my back?
Scratch me in. There's 6 of those bad boys in there. Blimey. Look at the tip on that one. This one's like a sparkler. What size is that? That's a P... It looks like that's a PH00 maybe. Actually, I'll tell you what, it probably says on the back. What do I want that for?
Lightly sparkler.
Lightly sparkler, yeah. Where's the sizes? Does it say sizes? Oh, it does, yeah. Oh, it's a P0, P1 and PH0, PH1 and PH2. And some flat-headed ones which are... I can never work now. A 1, a 2 and a 2. I know, 5.5, 6.5 and 8.0. It's the metric system.
You can fence with them and wait for the zombies.
Yeah, I used to say if there's a zombie apocalypse, but now we know it's going to happen at some point or other. It's like when there's a zombie apocalypse. Yeah, these would be dead handy. Aim for the head. Or...
You're good at doing that into the ground, don't you?
I am quite good at that.
So when you get the sleepers walking down the garden,
These would be pretty good.
to spin them by their feet.
If there's going to be a zombie apocalypse, my suggestion would be, if you've got a set like this, is to use the flat-bladed ones first. Because the flat-bladed ones are basically no good to man or beast, are they, really? They are for some things, but not a great deal. It's the cross-headed ones you're going to need for around the house and for your PC, obviously. Whilst you're not fighting zombies, you can use one of these for, obviously, doing stuff on your computer. So that's very handy.
That'd be handy when you do the coolers.
So maybe keep, it would be very handy. So keep the cross-headed ones to one side, maybe near your PC, and possibly keep the flat-headed ones, these ones, keep these near possibly maybe your front door, back door, and maybe your bed, just in case like the zombies come in the night and you don't hear them because they're just shuffling, and then you've got your screwdriver by the side of your bed ready to...
Yeah, but you'll probably think it's me coming back from the toilet.
Yeah, Kath will come back from the toilet. Oh, I've had a piss. Obviously, I'm saying all of these things in jest.
So if it does
Kath doesn't talk like that. Yeah. Future law enforcement officers, if you're watching this, clearly I'm joking. I'm not going to stab Kath with a screwdriver. Maybe. If she does become a zombie, I might.
You'd have to.
Yeah, I'd have to. Nick Barnes says, zombies. Oh, that is Bristolian for wife. That's very hurtful. Although, if you go to Turbo Island, you may find that to be absolutely correct. People will be Googling that. Bristol, Turbo Island. Please do. It's quite amusing. Well, hang on. What have I done here? Oh, I've messed this right up. I'm going to put these away and wait for the zombie apocalypse.
Right, Mike, you stop screwing about.
All right, I'm trying to. I'm trying not to.
That's Welly Bob.
Okay, thanks, Welly Bob. Mike has a loose screw now. Well, if I do get a loose screw, at least now I can take care of it with my Schrauben Dryer Extra Lang.
You tighten your belly button up.
Bizarrely, I actually passed my... No, I didn't. Did I pass my German exam? No, I didn't turn up for it. No, I did. I passed it 50% on coursework, I think. At least that's what it says on my CV anyway.
No, don't. You says you can speak fluent.
Speak fluent
German and French.
German, French, English, and American. G'day. The Black Friday apocalypse.
You told me you were half Australian when I met you.
Mark Berry says, Mike will have to make a holder for the screwdrivers. I don't need one, I'll just use a zombie. Once I put one screwdriver through,
ceilings,
I could use the rest of the zombie for some kind of parking device for my screwdrivers. Anyway, let's talk about some deals. We haven't heard about your deals yet, so... Mookie MC, sorry, I've got to say this. Who is going to sponsor a computer build just using giant screwdrivers? That would be absolutely, that would be good fun. With my eyesight, it'd be horrendous. Because I'm quite close-sighted with my left eye. I'm long-sighted with my right eye, so I'd have to... oh god, that hurt. I'd have to do it between the two.
And you could use a bow as well, couldn't you? Like have them as arrows. Just fire them into the screw holes heads.
Alessa says, zombie apocalypse, mindless people staring at their cell phones.
Well, I'm watching your stream on it.
No excuse, zombie. Quick, where's the screwdriver's gone? She's turned. William Bodie says, are they useful to Mike? The PH0 and the PH2 definitely. For actually some of these, I'm forever swapping coolers out, as you probably already know this. And there's nothing that frustrates me more than grabbing one of these off of here, with this one here in fact, and always, when I've got a screw down into the side of the cooler, this always catches. And then I always end up putting that back in there and then looking through my other stuff and saying, oh, what have I got with an extension on? So I've got this little kit with extensions and stuff, so I pull that out, get it in there, then I realise the extension isn't magnetic. Oh, it's a nightmare. So they will be very handy, they will be used. I might actually try and figure out some way of actually getting them on here, so they're actually available to hand for the CPU cooler apocalypse. Ugly Bob says, dude, those screwdrivers are huge to normal folk. Have you seen the size of Mike's fingers? What can I say? That might be why my typing's rubbish, because I just hit like 17 keys at the same time. Right, I haven't heard yet, what are your bargains? Now I actually bought a bargain today, which is, let me get the tab open, let's go to good old Amazon. I hate clicking on accept cookies. So...
Really random reviews before you click out?
I've not clicked out, I've still got it open. Boosh. Oh, it's gone back up. No, it's not. Sorry, I'm looking at the screen. What was it when?
Really random reviews.
Out of interest, Mike, I repasted my GPU as it was crusty, but now the fans go 100% in game. Should I repaste it? I wouldn't say repaste it. I would say you've probably got the CPU cooler, the graphics card cooler, slightly not quite mated down flat. That is something which is very, very common with a lot of GPUs. A lot of people tend to do it very much like a processor. So you do a couple of screws, do a couple of screws, do a couple of screws, do a couple of screws. And you're not really that bothered because on a CPU, you've got your heat shield on the top of the core. So if there's any kind of, what's the word, unevenness or irregularities,
Classic kebabs.
Then that is kind of soaked up by the heat shield. Whereas with the graphics card, years ago there used to be little shims you could get, little plastic shims or fibre shims, which you'd put before you put the screws in, just to make sure that you didn't compress the cord or the cooler down onto one side of the core more than the other. And it takes a very, very small amount of kind of different pressure to make the whole thing go a little bit weird. Depends on the GPU and the core, etc. The larger cores are better because they've got a larger surface area, so it's easier to get it flat on them. GPUs with smaller exposed cores are actually quite difficult to do. So I would say you probably need to maybe reduce the tension on maybe one or two of the screws on one side, see how it affects your temperatures, then maybe tighten up like a crisscross pattern very slowly and just adjust it until you get it just right. You might just be one of those weird things where you've put it on, you've maybe moved it and the paste hasn't quite settled. And if you use the graphics card, leave it off overnight, let it cool down completely, the spring tension, and it will kind of squish it all back down and it should find its kind of equilibrium. And then obviously when it gets hotter again, it will start bedding in. So a couple of power cycles and you might find that that sorts itself out. Potentially it could also be the fact that you've not plugged in the CPU fans correctly to the actual GPU fans to the GPU header correctly. So we're taking a look at that.
Junior?
Hopefully that answers your question. Junior. Saw a 3060 Ti for $400 US on Amazon. Should I buy it? A 3060 Ti. It depends, Junior. If in the US, if you can buy the Founders Edition for $370, which is the kind of recommended retail price, then I would probably go with that. Unless you specifically want a third-party card or AIB card. So if you wanted like an MSI Trio or something, or MSI Supreme or whatever it might be, then yeah, it's probably worth spending an extra $30 on that. Always with NVIDIA cards, check the NVIDIA site first of all for your local pricing, because generally they can underprice everybody else in the market. So I would definitely look at that. $400 US for 3060 Ti as a third-party vendor sounds like a pretty good deal to me, at least if I take it as being dollars being the same as pounds roughly.
Really random.
That sounds logical. Okay, cool. Yeah, try that. Jazz 2016 says, "You're not watching I'm a Celeb, Mike?" No. I don't have a TV license, so I'm unable to watch said program. And actually, if
I wouldn't watch it anyway.
Yeah, I don't think I would watch it anyway. I didn't think it actually was any good. The last time I watched it and actually vaguely enjoyed it, I think, was when Peter Andre and Jordan were in it. So that says something about how long ago that was, because since then they've divorced. No, they've married, divorced,
and she's married about.
And she's married about at least 4 times since then. So, no, I wouldn't want to watch that.
Stuart Cleary up a little bit.
Stuart Cleary. God.
It's not that far up.
Oh, there. We'll be looking for reduced prices on 2TB PCIe M.2 NVMe. Blah. I'll start that again for those for the hard of reading. We'll be looking for reduced prices on 2TB PCIe 4 M.2 NVMe drives. Do you think they will be on offer during Black Friday or Cyber Monday? Fun enough, that is exactly what I'm about to click on, because currently the Kingston is this going to work? I don't know if this is going to work. We're going to try it. Let's see. Let's go with it.
Get rid of the message.
Oh, yeah. Thank you, Kath.
And also, remember Stuart's in Ireland.
Right, Stuart's in Ireland, so obviously do take the pricing with a pinch of salt. David Underhill, just noticed your message there. Michael says good morning from QLD. Good morning to you, Mr. Underhill. Hope you're well. And from those of you in NSW and everywhere else. So these are actually really good drives. I've actually ordered one of these yesterday. It should have been here today, but it hasn't. So 2TB PCI Express Gen 4. It's not got the best speeds, but don't think of speeds as being the ultimate denominator of actual performance on NVMe drives or M.2 drives or SSDs, anything like that. Don't take that as being a given. What you want to look for is IOPS, which is operations per second. So if you can get a drive which does sustained IOPS of a high quantity, that is going to give you much better performance overall in general than a drive which has maybe 7 gigabits per second transfer speed, because drives cannot sustain that transfer speed for a long time or a sustained time. It just can't happen, or they get very hot whilst doing it. What Kingston have done in a really clever way with this is they've used the PCI Express Gen 4 lanes, so they don't have to use as many lanes in order to get the speeds, but they've used a really efficient controller, so they don't need to have any heat sinks, none of that stuff needed. It runs very cool, obviously very quiet because there's no moving parts, but it also transfers, and if you're doing big file transfers, it'll just keep on transferring until the job's done without losing any speed, which is awesome. Yes, Gav?
2 members.
Oh, 2 members. We got ClickTech Kev has been a member for 7 months and is rejoined, or is sending us. Yes, of course. If you're a member, you get to send a chat sticker. So Kev says, "Good evening. How you doing?" And Ugly Bob's. Yeah, good to see you, Kev.
2 weeks in a row.
Kev, are you ill?
No, he wasn't last week.
I know, but he might be this week. Ugly Bob has been a member for 15 months. Bless you, sir. And time has flown by. It has actually, yeah. And thank you so much, both of you, for your continued support.
And everyone else.
Blimey. Anyway, so back to the drive, sorry. So that's a 2 terabyte one, £131. I think that's going to probably come down a little bit more.
Captain Meat's 14 months.
And Captain Meat's in for 14 months as well. Bless you, sir. Hope you're having a good evening, Captain Meat. Captain Meat's not done any YouTube videos for a while. I'm a bit upset about that.
The price of ham, innit?
It is the price of ham. The price of meat has gone up, so Captain Meat's adventures, the production values have had to drop to accommodate. So he's now Captain Spam. Or Captain Vegan.
Videos?
Kev says, "I'm fully healthy, my friend." That is very good. Awesome stuff. Glad to hear it. Right. Yeah, if you want the 1 terabyte drive, which is what I actually bought today, 52 quid for a 1 terabyte NVMe drive. Like I said, I bought one today. It seems like a very good price to me. Now, I don't think I've got the camels installed here.
But you've still got the hum.
I haven't. So, what you can do, if you're not too sure if something is actually cheap or not, you can grab the B0 number at the top here in your browser thing. Do a little copy.
Big Hiker no longer works Saturday nights.
Nice. Camel. Yeah, whatever. Go to camel.com and you can copy in your link. I think it does it from a B0 number. Yeah, there we go. So you can put in that, it will tell you the price, best price, etc. So at the moment that is the best price it's been. And you can see here's the price history. So they've only got this on record as being for Amazon, brand new. So originally it came out for just under, what was it, £90, give or take. You can see it down here. So 88.86 on October the 7th. And it's gradually been falling, so potentially it could actually drop down a little bit further. You never know, but at the moment, as it stands, $52.99 is the lowest price it has ever been. I've actually bought one of these already previously from Amazon, I think it was, for £60. So it's already dropped down a little bit. So, anyway. That is well worth looking at. Camel, I believe, works for other countries as well. So if you want to use this in the US and etc., there are other versions available. So, anyway. That is a very good example of a pretty decent bargain. Another bargain, actually, for those of you that might be interested in a cheap PC case. So this was from eBuyer in the UK.
Are these all on our Discord?
They are on our Discord. All these will probably be on our Discord, so if you want to check them out, you can do. It was the AeroCool. This is a case actually which I've been trying not to have do a review on for a long time. And oh, it's gone back up. Damn it, we've missed out on that. So the actually, I wonder if the AeroCool. There we go. Yeah. So this is a white case, believe it or not. White. So you've got a white top. It's got a white back, etc. It's basically kind of like a monochrome setup. You get 4 addressable RGB fans, which come with a hub, and there's also a fan controller, etc. So you can plug that into your motherboard. You've got USB 3.2 ports on the top, etc., etc.
It's like a sunroof.
You get the idea. It's a relatively interesting looking case. It's a little bit different from the norm. A little bit of room in there for radiators and all that kind of good gear. So we like that a lot. £27.99 plus, I think it was £3.50 postage. So that is, yeah, that is really good. Nick Barnes says, I thought you got black, Mike. I thought I bought black. I saw this, I think it was Charles posted it on the Discord, and I saw it, and I thought, right, I'll have that. Because I thought, there's a black case. Didn't even look at that top bit and the feet on the bottom, didn't even notice that bit. And of course, being an absolute fool, I didn't look at any of the other pictures and see that it's got a white back panel there. So I just went ahead and bought it. So I posted on the Discord saying, I just bought one in black. And they're like, well, the black one's 50 quid. It's like, oh, is it? Yeah, that one's out of stock. The black one, they haven't even got that anymore. So yes, I couldn't have bought that. Popular, 30 people are looking at this item right now. Let me put this in the, if I copy that, I'll put this.
Did you buy anything else really random with it to make other people bought this at the same time?
No, I didn't know. I was going to see if they'd done anything slightly rude, but they didn't. They got some reasonable deals here, Black Friday deals, so if you want a PC, cases, all that kind of usual stuff. What was it? There was something else on there that I saw which was really good, and I thought, oh, actually, I don't mind that. Oh, that was it. The Gigabyte Radeon RX 6600 Eagle 8 gig. I didn't think that was too bad a price, $250. Or pounds even, if you're a United Kingdom person.
Somebody earlier wanted a laptop.
So that's
$600-700.
That sounded pretty good. Laptop deals, I'm sure there's going to be some of those. There's another option. So the Swift version, if you don't like Gigabyte one, go to Swift. That's 250.
Sorry, Flamey.
These might come down a little bit more in the coming days and weeks, but I don't know. I don't think they will do much. I'm almost tempted to get another 6500 XT at 160 quid, but I don't know if I can do that to myself. William Bodie says $27.99 for the case is very cheap. It is. It's very cheap. Like 30 quid is, yeah, it's like a phenomenal price for any PC case, but one which actually looks half decent and has got a few bits and pieces going on inside it as well. I think that's going to make a really nice little flip system. I'm not too sure. Well, I've got a motherboard plan to go in it, which is the MSI B450 Carbon Wi-Fi, which I've managed to pick up. But I'm not too sure what processor and graphics card. But anyway.
Ugly Bob still has his Sapphire 6500.
Oh, cool. This was another pretty decent deal. So the Integral 1TB V-Series, I've actually bought a couple of the 240 gig ones of this. They're pretty good, about 17 quid. So if you want a cheap little SSD, they're pretty good.
They get really random reviews asked. They don't have to speak it out loud, but just read it, it's funny.
A nice wet poo. Oh dear. Cheers, Bob. So yeah, if you want a little spare drive, or if you've got like a little laptop or something which you want to speed up a little bit, the Integral 240, that's pretty decent. These are not affiliate links. So if you buy anything, we don't get any commission or kickback off them at all. I'm just sharing links. If there's something you like, great. But yeah, we're not an affiliate or anything, so we don't get any kickback from that. This is actually something, I know it's not very politically correct in this day and age to buy it.
Put that message on the screen again.
Oh yeah, sorry. But air dusters are ridiculously cheap here. For some reason. I know that they shouldn't be expensive because there's nothing really to them.
Just a bit of air.
It's just air in a tin. But
Mushy
to actually have handy, for £1.79, if you're looking at buying a case or something, it's actually worth buying a couple of these, or maybe, like these normally sell, if you go to a retail store, they're normally about 5 to 7 quid, sometimes even more. So you could buy a couple of these.
How big are they?
Those are, I think they're 300ml, no 400ml.
There.
Yeah, 400ml, which is actually quite a decent size. That's like a can of spray paint that you'd have for painting a car. So that is ridiculously cheap. £1.79, you can't go wrong. Now clearly they're not making any money on that at all, because I'm sure it probably costs more to actually make them than that.
David
So there's.
says a pound for air cans in local Poundland.
Oh, that's cool. Thanks,
We
David.
actually still have things for a pound.
A pound, something for a pound in Poundland.
We stopped going.
What's the
when
rule
they were
come
no
to?
longer a pound. Made it boring looking at how much things were.
Letter says, I think it's better to spend $25 on a nice electric air blower in the long run. I agree with you actually there. Yes, that is worth looking at. Anyway, so yeah, there's lots of deals available. Some of the other ones that we've seen, I'm trying to think what else we had this week, which was in the Discord. I can't even see the Discord. What was in there that was good? Oh God, I can't think now. What did we have? Help me out, Kath.
What did we have?
Yeah, in the Discord, in the bargains. There's some. Right, I'll look then.
Oh, you want me to look? I can't really get to my computer because I've got 2 cats on it.
That's right. Don't worry. I'm gonna open up my Discord. Hopefully, it opens on the right window. Yes, it has. Awesome. Bear with me, caller. Won't be a second.
But I wouldn't know what was a bargain and what's not.
Oh, for Christ's sake, you won't let me log in without a bastard QR code. Oh dear. Won't be a minute. Bear with me. No, I don't want to bloody add a picture. Piss off. Done. Go away. Why do they make things so hard? Yes, log me in. Thank you. Right, sorry about this. I will just go over to bargains.
There's also the AeroCool Hive on eBay for $29.99.
Oh yeah, yeah, the AeroCool Hive. That was a pretty good one. Where was it? Oh, Amazon. That was it. Oh, where's your mouse? Right, there was also the AeroCool Hive. Actually, I'm interested to hear what your thoughts are on the design of this for the Hive. I don't know.
I'm not. Message on there again, I think.
Christ, there's 120 people looking at this at the moment, apparently. So that is the AeroCool Hive. Slightly odd design, but I kind of like it in a weird way. It looks quite compact as well. But I think depending on what angle you look at the front, it's going to be a bit of a strange one to look at. But again, 30 quid. That seems like a very good price to me. I'm trying to see what comes with it. So it comes with adjustable RGB fans, 2 16cm RGB fans, and one 12cm or 120mm ARGB in the back. Dual chamber design, fully tempered glass side panel, blah, 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 blah. Carbon fiber style front panel, delivers a futuristic look and feel. Fan mounts on the PS2 shroud, support 2 fans, liquid cooling front and rear, blah blah blah. Supports high-end graphics cards up to 317mm. If you don't have a rate, that's the downside. Supports CPU cooler up to 157mm.
Share the link to that case and they can all look at it to see if the watch count goes up.
Oh yeah, that's good. Yeah. There's a link in the chat. Scott Tate says 16cm, what, 160mm? Yes, that is 160mm front fans. If you look at the front on design, it does look, you can see they do fill up all of that. So if you imagine something like the Gamemax F15 having 2 large 200mm fans in the front, This is 160, so it's like a compact version of it. I was tempted to get one of those for a review, but I'm not as keen on that as I am on the other one, which I did buy. But then this does look interesting, but my concern is there's not a great deal of space at the top for water cooling. Not that you probably would for a 30 quid case, to be honest. But it's nice to have the option, should you want to.
Stevie Elder.
Stevie Elder. Stevie Elder. Did you guys know they do upside down cases to fit on the left side of the desk? Yes, I have actually had one. There was the Sharkoon... Oh, what was the model? I can't think what it was. There was one from Sharkoon that we had, which was an inverted layout. And there was one, I think there was actually two from Sharkoon. No, what was the one that's RL07 or RL01? Can't think what that was, but we have had a couple, yes. Scott Tate says eBay wants me to accept cookies so they can F off. Yeah. Dutch Jan says the Sharkoon Rev series. That's right, yeah, the Rev 200 I think it was. William Bodie says, forget the 30 quid case, it's too little. Yes, it is a little bit. So, what was the other deals? Oh yeah, that was it. Amazon. Let's go back to Amazon. If you're looking for a good monitor, or a relatively good monitor, they got the G3 Odyssey. I think it's £109 at the moment, which is a 24-inch 165 Hz display, if I could find it. Uh, 24. Oh, why is I can never find these things when I'm looking for them? Ah, there we are. So Black Friday deal come a little bit earlier. So normally 200 quid allegedly. So this is actually another good point. So we can work out if they're bullshitting us here. So it says it's normally 200 quid, it's at 109. So this is what I would do generally. I would grab the B0 number at the top there. I'd copy that, go into the camels. Camel, come on. Camel, camel, camel. 3 camels. We're searching for baby Jeebus.
Chris O'Han on power supplies, only platinum from reputable brands, that's what I'm looking for.
Ooh. I wouldn't mind a platinum power supply, although I don't think I would ever get one. Unless it came down to a very good price.
Tech sold the Ryzen 5800X for 180.58. Amazon warehouse, used like new, sold by Amazon, seems good. Yeah,
Tech sold, that is actually another very good one. Yeah, the Ryzen 5800X for 180 quid is brilliant. Genuinely is brilliant. Yeah, you can't go wrong with that. If it wasn't for the fact that I had one, I would probably buy one. So anyway, the monitor, so as you see, normal price on Amazon. The most it's been 188. And that was back in June of this year. Lowest has been 129.99, and the current price is not in stock, but clearly it is because you can buy it. Yeah, it's in stock for delivery. So that's actually a very nice monitor for £109. You've got Samsung quality. The only thing that lacks on that, I think, is the fact it doesn't have any integrated speakers, which for me is a relatively important thing. Even though I'm unlikely to use them, it's nice to have. It does bother me if I have a monitor without them. But for 165 Hz, 1 millisecond with DisplayPort, HDMI, blah, 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 1080p, 109 quid, branded monitor. Yeah, I don't think you can go too far wrong with that. And it actually looks pretty nice. It's got a reasonable amount of ports there. So you've got a USB service port on the end as well. So you can update firmwares, etc. Which not entirely necessary, but quite nice. I don't think it's IPS. Someone just asked. I'm pretty sure it's a VA.
Is it IPS display?
That's what I'm just answering.
Oh, sorry.
I'm pretty sure it's a VA. Why don't they say? It would be nice if they said it on here. Doesn't say the technology. So might have to let's see if we can find that out. What?
I've lost it now. What's the difference between 5800X and a 5900X?
5900X has got additional 4 cores and an additional 8 threads, I think. Yeah, because you're going from 8 cores to 12 cores. Depends what you want. If you're for gaming, then the 5800 makes a lot more sense. If you're doing video editing and stuff, then the 5900 will be the way to go.
And then GERS, should I get a Ryzen 5600 for 140 now?
Ryzen 5600 for 140. The Ryzen 5600 for 140 is still a good price as it stands, but the 180 for the 5800 is like incredible value for money. So it's not like the 5600 is bad value. It's just that the 5600 is like mental. And yes, so the G3 Odyssey is a VA panel, so VA LCD monitor. I'm actually tempted to get one. I don't need one, but I'm tempted to buy one at that price. I've fallen for the hype. They've got me. Hook, line and sinker. Let's take a quick look at the...
Sorry, really random reviews. What's the best for both? Because I game and edit it. I might get a 5800 at that price.
If you game and edit, what's the 5900? Let's see what the 5900 is going for at the moment. 5900X, 350 quid. Even used ones, yeah, it's not worth...
He's 58, wasn't it? 57 or 58?
Oh, did you say 57?
I can't remember now. It's quite high up now.
Let's have a look. I didn't see the questions. What's the difference between the 5800 and 5900? So yeah, the 5800 is going to be a better performer in most tasks. I use the 5800 every day for gaming and for video editing. And that's 4K editing, and it works fine. Sometimes I feel like I could do a few extra cores, but given the price differential between it, there is absolutely no point on God's green earth that anyone in their right mind should be considering the 5900 over the 5800 as it stands if you can get one used for that sort of price.
So yeah, at that price diff, 5800 would be a considerable upgrade from a 3600, right?
From a 3600, yes. Yeah, 3600 up to be honest with you, if you've got a 3600 and you want an increase and you're doing video editing, I'd go with a 3900 on the used market. Or the 5800. The 5800 for 200 quid is very, very hard to beat. If we go to somewhere like CEX, weirdly CEX never have a Black Friday sale as far as I know. Let's have a look. So 3900X. Yeah, so their prices for processors are way out at the moment. So 245 quid, that's ridiculous. 580X, 255. What's the 3600 going for? That's normally a good starting point. 110 quid, so that is kind of about right at the moment. Anywhere around £100 mark for a 3600 is kind of really where you should be looking. So yeah, the 5800 for the 180 odd quid, if you can get one, is good. Hot UK deals. Let's have a look what's on UK hot deals. Yeah, whatever. And we'll go up to electronics and we'll go to new. See if there's anything good new. Laptop. Dedicated graphics card. Someone was asking about a laptop a little bit earlier on. That's a refurbished, it's slightly older, 6,000, so maybe not.
It's in dollars, I think they wanted one.
Anything good here? No. UK hot deals is a weird one. Sometimes there's some really good stuff in there, but sometimes it's like a lot of dross. No, nothing particularly exciting there. Let's go to hottest ones.
Captain White said, just note, Ryzen 3000 series does not support PCIe 4.0.
The Ryzen 3000 series does support PCI Express 4.0, but not the G series. Only the desktop normal ones. They're all 4.0 on both NVMe and GPU. Although some of them aren't. So the which one was it? No, actually, no, that is. Yeah, the 3600, 37, 38, 39, 3950 all support PCI Express Gen 4. The 3400G doesn't. The 3000 series doesn't. 3000G doesn't, etc. 3200. Anything with a G on the end basically doesn't support PCI Express Gen 4. So these are the deals at the moment. Micro SD cards, Samsung, can't go too far wrong with them. 12 quid, half price, give or take. Plex, if you're into Plex, 25% off lifetime plus. That's pretty good. Never used Plex actually. Maybe something I should try. Lenovo Legion. Actually, Lenovo monitors are actually pretty good. That's a IPS 165Hz 1440p for 200 quid. That's nice. And that was on eBuyer as well. Good old eBuyer. 200 quid. That's not bad at all. Oh, they're saying there, yeah, one of the best 1440p panels out there. Awesome stuff. Like that. If you want a... There's another Lenovo there. Good price. That was one that is quite interesting. If you're on a real budget and you want to get a gaming monitor, and you do want IPS, because IPS is kind of nice. Only a 75 Hz, but I still quite like those monitors. I think MSI do make some really nice IPS panels. If you've not used one before, probably worth taking a look at. Right, let's go back to the main for a moment. So back on to me. Hello. I'm just gonna have a drink a minute because my throat is somewhat dry. So I'll have a drink. Let us know what you're after. Actually, I'm going to show you my, this is my fun tea bags. I actually forgot to take out my old tea bag, so I'm double bagging this one. And I've got Twinings English Breakfast, and I've got Twinings Everyday.
Thanks, Bob.
Thanks, Bob.
Ugly Bob. Uggs.
There is milk and sugar in there, which has basically made the tea bags useless, essentially. It's good.
I'm a coconut.
I'm a coconut.
I did read it also, I don't know.
Just a heads up on the Dell monitor from Vega. If you're running it on a NVIDIA graphics card, it will develop issues and you will have another monitor which is not identical running. If you have another monitor which is not identical running at the same time. I don't understand that, but thank you. David Underhill says, anyone that says no difference between VA and IPS has never seen a good IPS. I would agree wholeheartedly with that. A good IPS screen is considerably better than a TN or a VA. Captain White says Kingston MV2 is 1 terabyte is 53 quid on Amazon. We had that one just now. That was a great deal. I like that one a lot. I'm still waiting for mine to arrive. I did have a message actually. Let's have a look.
Are the RGB casters or giant screwdrivers on a Black Friday sale somewhere?
I'm not too sure. The giant screwdrivers I wouldn't be able to tell you because I'm sure they probably came from possibly Lidl, I'm guessing.
Yeah, they did. Or Aldi, one of them.
Yeah, one of those. So I'm not too sure.
Bless you, Poppy Doro.
Oh dear.
What, me?
Just reading a comment there. What was I doing? Oh yeah, Amazon. Let's see where my drive actually is. Epic deals, Black Friday. Where are orders? Hors Oh, that was the other one. Memory.
I forgot.
Yeah, I forgot my memory. Both Ugly Bob and I think someone else did as well. Posted in our Discord this one. Actually, I'll get up on the, it was the HyperX RAM. HyperX, show all results. Kettle's boiling. What is it called? I'm sure it's bloody Hyper. Oh, Kingston Fury. Sorry, my mistake. At the moment, this has been the cheapest RAM that I've seen for, well, recent times. Is that going to find it? Yay, there we go. Right, let's go back to the desktop. So we've got the Kingston Fury Beast, 16 GB. DDR4 3200 speed, CL16, 46 quid. So like I've said before on many other streams, when RAM gets down to the price that is less than 25 quid for 8 gigs, that is the kind of sweet spot. It's unlikely to get much cheaper than that. Due to basically costs, shipping, etc, etc, then yeah, you're unlikely to get much better than that. And if we look, they've also got these 32 gigabytes. If you want 32 gigs, that is currently $82.99, which is, again, if you divide that by 4, that is going to be, what's that, £20 and 20, God, my brain, 70p, 75, 76, £20 and 70p, something like that. So that is actually fantastic value for money. If you want 32 gigs of RAM, Kingston obviously is going to be lifetime warranty. It doesn't have RGB, which is for some people is actually going to be quite handy. Decent stuff. XMPs generally work all the time, no problems at all. Yeah, lifetime, suitable for Ryzen and AMD. Lots of people seem to be very happy with it from what I can tell. I'm sure I've had some before, but that is a very good price. I was kind of umming and ahhing whether to go for the 32 gig or the 16, so I went with the 16 kit for the PC that I've got currently being built. So yeah, that looks like it's really good. Chris Hartford says the Crucial Ballistic 16 gig, 45 quid, last Black Friday. It's been a year already. Yeah. Fury Beast is the best quality for Ryzen in terms of stability. Cool.
What CPU do you think I should get for a tough X570?
What CPU for a tough X570? Well, it depends what you've got already. Like I said earlier on, if you're available, if you can get it in the UK, the Ryzen 5800, which we looked at just now, 5800X. Yeah, £158 and 58 pence, if it's still available there. No, I don't want to pay suspenseful music, piss off. So normally on this you have to save, use like new. I'm pretty sure with Amazon Warehouse you actually get another discount when you go into the checkout. I could be wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure that is the deal. Robert Paul Puttons says, "Hi Mike, what will happen if I start my PC without the CMOS battery and do I have to re-update the BIOS?" Nope, you don't have to. Well, you'd have to update it in terms of things like your time, but yeah, the battery, the CMOS battery is literally for saving settings in the CMOS. So if you take the battery out, it's going to lose the settings if you don't have power to it. You can take the battery out whilst the PC's running. I'd advise against it, but certainly you can do if you want to. Chris is saying some warehouse items are 10% extra at the checkout. Or 10% extra, 10% discount, not 10% extra. They're not adding on 10%, I hope.
Not yet.
It's only a matter of time.
Is anyone else having trouble with their deliveries?
Yeah.
And returns?
That was what I was saying, yeah. The, where are we? So, this week with Amazon I've had troubles with the return for the cable, which Bob sent. Thank you very much, Bob. But also the NVMe drive, the Kingston MV2, which I was talking about just a second ago. That was it was supposed to be here by 1 o'clock today. And now it's saying, yeah, delayed, not yet even shipped. We will email you as soon as this order ships. We're sorry for the inconvenience. So, well, don't be sorry, just give me the thing. Another item, which some of you might be interested in, so if you don't really go for the cheap cases, we want something a little bit nicer. There is something which may appeal. Let's see. Oh, I'm in the wrong thing. P3. So this is. Yeah, there we go. So Thermaltake Core P3 TG. Now they are updating this at the moment, so there is the Pro version of this come out. So this is why they dropped the price a little bit. But 123 quid, it says there this item has not been released. It is kind of what they've done is they've shown the standard version, but I'm sure they're going to be sending out the Pro version instead. So this is like one of those open chassis, so you can basically mess around with stuff a little bit easier. The only thing I dislike about this particular case is I wish it had a panel on the back there for the I/O shield, because that I think is going to make it look a little bit ugly. When you've got all your cables at the back, it's going to look a little bit weird. Although it can't look much weirder than the layout they've put in it. If someone went to Thermaltake and said, please can you make this PC look as ugly as possible, that would be what it looked like.
They'd be world champions.
They would be actual world champions. That looks better. I do remember the old school Thermaltake TT ARGB. That was the first version of it, which was pretty awful, to be fair. And their Tough Power RGB 750 watt power supply, top of the line. And a 1080. Wow. Times have changed. So anyway, if you're after a display case as such, then you can do a lot worse than that. The Core P3 is actually not too bad. I quite like that. Again, that was another deal. Chris Goddard saying the Ryzen 5500 was 80 quid on eBay during the week last weekend. Yeah, that's not bad. Neil Longman saying Amazon Samsung 980 1TB PCIe 3 up to 300 NVMe M.2 internal 6991. That's not too bad. The 980, from what I can recall, doesn't have any DRAM cache on it. The Pro version does. So you probably with that you might be better off going with the Kingston MV2, which is going to be about £10 or so, no, almost £20 cheaper. Oh, Captain White said that underneath. Yeah, just get the MV2. Dutch Jan says, ugly case. Don't hold back, say what you think. That's what it's all about. David Andrew says that Thermaltake case is twice that price in Australia, over 400 USD. Jeez. Aletta says, I like that case, I'd mount it to a wall. You can do, that is what that mount is for there. That is your VESA mount. So that is designed so you can put a VESA mounting on your wall and hook it up, stick it on the wall. I think Bitwit did that. I'm not sure if it was that exact case, but I think he did it with one of them like that. Rick H, Mike, have you reached out to Jim about their new Jim gaming case in white? It's a chunky boy. I paid 160 USD, US dollars on Amazon. I have, thanks Kath. I did actually reach out to Jim on that, and that's is that the Jim Cube? Let's see if I can find it. I did see it, they released a video on it on YouTube recently. And let's see if there's a Jim on here. So they do the Robin 2, but there's the Cube as well, isn't there? Don't think it's available on Amazon at the moment.
Did you see Robert Punton's My PC starts up but no display? Still have the VGA problem. Ordered a new power supply. Should be here next week. Hopefully fixes it.
Oh, I hope you do. I hope you do find the answer. It's always very frustrating when it happens. I can't find this Gym case, so Gym PC case. Cube, I think. I'm sure it's called the Cube. Gym. Oh, I'm going to sneeze. Oh, it was a yawn instead.
Nearly.
It still feels like it's going to happen
It is
though.
a bodily function.
Gym gaming cases. Oh, I can't find it. No, it's the GM1. Okay. So, Gym GM1. Well, I can find videos on it. Am I going to get...
What's up,
Yeah.
everybody? It's Maddie.
Stop, you're getting
Yeah.
monetized.
I want to find a picture, so let's see.
Just mute it.
I'll mute it. Hold on. There we go. Can they see? Oh no. Can't see that, can you? Desktop, there we go. So that is the Gym GM1. So it's very similar to what I've got stuck behind me at the moment, I think. But it does appear that there's room in there for a 360mm rad up top, which mine definitely doesn't. I do struggle with that. Probably a 360, possibly on the bottom if you want to. Definitely one on the side, I would imagine. Yeah, it looks quite nice. I do like those sorts of cases. Very good. Let's go back to there. So, Gym 1. Junior Thomas, what about Zalman cases? Yeah, I'm not sure. Zalman haven't really done a lot that have... I don't know, there's not really been anything which I've thought, yeah, I like the look of that. They seem to have fallen off the wayside for quite a while. A bit like, I'm going to have a lot of disagreement with this, but I feel the same about Antec. I feel Antec used to do really good cases, but their recent stuff has been arguably quite poor. I don't know whether you'd agree with me with that. Not that it makes a difference if you agree or not, it's kind of irrelevant, but it's all down to the individual. So there's a Zalman S5, which has been doing rounds at the moment, which is like a solid front case. Doesn't appear to have a great deal of ventilation. It kind of looks nice. Let's put it onto desktop so you can see it there. And that is the Zalman S5 ATX. This has been going for like 20 quid in some places. But they don't...
That thing question on the screen there.
Come on, there we go. So it's kind of...
Put that question in the middle of it all.
Oh, I clicked on the clear button.
Oh, that's right, it's gone now.
I cleared it twice. Yeah, that to me, like Zalman used to be all about cooling. To be honest with you, so did Antec. But I feel that they've both really kind of fallen off the side a little bit. And they're kind of just getting cheap Chinese like OEM designs. I don't know. What do you guys think about it? I don't think Antec have done anything half decent in a long time.
Antec DP503 is amazing.
Antec DP503. Let's have a look. Is that the one with the weird shapes on the front? Let's see if we can do that on the Amazon. DP503 Antec. Yeah, so that is DP503. See, there's something about that front panel that I just don't like. I think it's just too busy. But having said that, the rest of the case, they've done a really good job on. So you've got plenty of room at the top for radiators, as you can clearly see there. Type-C port included, that's handy. Lots of airflow from the front panel, clearly. You're going to get that because it's mesh. It's only got a VDC fan control hub, which you'd expect more for that sort of money, I guess. But yeah, it seems... Arguably it's done all the right things pretty much. I'm just not... If that had a flat mesh front panel, I would probably buy it. But that mesh looks a little bit odd, in my opinion. But I would... Yeah, I think I would probably... Well, if Antec would be kind enough to reach out to us and actually provide us with a review sample, I would be very happy to take a look at it, is what I would say. Yes, Kath?
Chris Goddard.
Chris Goddard. Let's see if I can find that. Chris Goddard, Mike Kath, there's an ID cooling RGB CPU cooler on Amazon for $18.99 after a 5% code. Have you ever tried it? And is it worth it for a Ryzen 5 2600? Let's have a look. What model is it? Is it the ID Cooling SE 214 XT? I'm guessing it probably is. Is it that one? Yeah, 5% discount off of 20 quid is going to be £1, isn't it? So yeah, we have reviewed this one. I'm not sure when the video's due out. I think it's due out kind of any time now. Members have got it already, I think, and I have got it here. It's actually currently on a Ryzen 5600G, which is in my my other little PC, and it performed quite well.
ID cooling, yeah, members have got it, so it'll be Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, probably Friday next week.
Yeah, Friday next week that should be out. So yeah, Black Friday deal. And it'll be one of the things which is actually on offer all of the time.
Unicorn Life Matters.
Unicorn Life Matters. Hang on, Captain Meets Adventures. Mike, which movie world would you love to live in? Well, I already do, and it's called The Matrix. Get that one in there.
That's not a film, that's a documentary.
What was the next one? Hello, James Miscellaneous, by the way. I have seen you in there lurking. Chris Hartford says SE21 4XT is someone's postcode in North London. Yeah, I expect it is actually, isn't it? Captain White says 5 times deep cool RGB 120mm fan set, nice quality fans, 27 quidish with discount applied. That sounds pretty good. Dot Sync says, yeah, the ID cooling, same price in the US every day.
Scott Tate.
The ID cooling actually is one of those ones which you can rely on pretty much all the time. It's kind of like the go-to cooler. What am I looking at? Oh, guys, can you give me a price check? Probably not. I'm not a Gigabyte fan of such, so I don't know what the prices are. And not sure what country you're in either. So it would be hard to say. If it's a A570S motherboard AX, you're probably looking at 300 quid for that board anyway. The 5800X has just dropped in price massively, so it's worth very little now. So price checking that would be very difficult to do. It's worth what you think it's worth.
If anyone else wants to.
Mark Berry says, we'll all be happy when we have nothing. Well, technically we have, because we arrive with nothing and we leave with nothing. So you've only got the illusion of having something during your lifetime. Let's go back onto there. James Brock's getting involved. Giga Trash. I haven't had a Gigabyte motherboard in a long time. I keep on looking to see if there's anything. I actually looked on Gigabyte's site today because I was quite fancy just doing a Gigabyte ecosystem build. Like putting all their stuff together, keyboards, mice, graphics card, motherboard, pretty much the whole shooting match. It's actually really difficult to do. Their keyboards are like ridiculously hard to find, and when you do find them, they're stupidly expensive. Mice as well. Ordinary dudes in the house, how you doing, ordinary dude? Ugly Bob says ARGB. Nasty Yoda, I own a Raidmax X616. It used to go on Amazon for $69. It has two 200mm RGB front fans and a front mesh. You don't need an expensive case to have good airflow. Oh, let's have a look. The Raidmax X616. I'm guessing that's going to be the kind of fractal type thing, isn't it? Not fractal. Oh, what's the word I'm looking for? My brain. The Gamemax F15 style thing, same as the Lian Li, whatever it is. X616 Raidmax, have a look at that. Oh, it is a bit different. Oh my god, they got the most trippy sight. Yeah, that looks actually quite good. I quite like the look of that. I'm trying to work out what case it is, or who makes the case. 140mm options in the back as well. That's good. I don't think the Gamemax does that. Include fans, 120mm. Yeah, that's good. Good, good. I/O ports. Is that USB 2? I suppose you didn't really need much more than that. Yeah, that's right. Actually, you guys can't see that, can you? Let's have a look. So that is the case I was talking about just a second ago. Bit different, isn't it? Quite like the look of that. I can't make out whether I think it looks cheap or whether it looks expensive. It's one of those kind of weird illusions. I quite like this mesh on the front. That's a nice mesh. But I don't know whether they needed the mesh on the side as well. I think that might be a little bit too much. Yeah, it does look good. I quite like it. $240mm rad on the top, 360. Cool. James Miscellaneous says Raidmax is like the BioStar of cases. Gotcha. James Brock says it's just a metal box to put the parts in. Ah dear. Right, let's see if there's any more deals while we're at it. Anything new and exciting? Ooh, 3 months Amazon Music subscription free for new subscribers on Amazon. How exciting. No, nothing exciting there. So let's go back to the camera. Let's have a look at your... James Brock says, you know I am right, Mike and audience. Well, technically you are. Clearly. It's much like a car is just a box with 4 wheels to get you from A to B. But there's people that will buy a very old kind of Skoda style car. The old Skoda, like basically a box on wheels. Or there's people that buy a Rolls Royce. Both will do the same job, but it's just how do you want to get from A to B. The same with a computer. You could buy just a box, but there's a very strong chance that that metal box is going to overheat or get hot, so your computer is going to get hot, which is never a good look. And actually, depending where you've got it, if you've got it where it's actually visible in a home, it does have to have a certain level of pleasing aesthetics, I would say. Arguably, but if you've got it tucked away somewhere, it makes no difference at all. Chris O'Hanlon. Chris says, have you found me a platinum power supply yet? £100 budget. Right, there is a challenge for everybody watching at the moment. Have a look, see if you can find a platinum power supply for £100. I don't think it can be done. I'm going to fire up PC Part Picker. If there's anyone out there that knows of a power supply in the platinum range for £100, now is the time to make yourself heard. Let us know in the chat. So I'm going to look in the PC Part Picker in a minute. I'll put it onto the desktop screen. If you're not sure, if you've never used PC Part Picker, it's pretty easy to do. Just choose a power supply here and we'll put in...
Rob's already come up with Seasonic Focus 550 is a shade under 100.
Platinum. And we'll sort by price. So, how many watts do you need? Yeah, Chris Hartford says the same thing. What wattage? Michael Thompson says there's no mention that the Platinum PSU actually has to work. No, that's true.
I only need 550 watts.
550 watts, so...
I prefer more.
But if you can go to £102, then arguably the Fractal Design Ion Plus, 600p there, or the Seasonic Focus for slightly more. Yeah, that's a fully modular. Yeah, the Seasonic Focus is probably, I would say, probably one of your best shouts. A little bit slightly more, but... I'm surprised there isn't actually any Corsair ones listed there. There is, but it's a 450 watt. Because most of Corsair's high-end power supplies are actually made by Seasonic.
You should use conditioner if you've got Corsair.
Yeah, I suppose...
It's only me that thinks like that.
I'd imagine, actually, saying that, it's very likely that because Seasonic make the power supplies for Corsair, there must be some kind of mutual agreement that they don't undercut them on pricing for their own power supply, because that would be kind of embarrassing. Nasty Yoda says you don't need a platinum PSU, gold is enough. It depends who, yeah. I can see exactly what you mean there, because the difference between gold and platinum is what, like 1%, 2%? It's a very, very low difference between it. And in fact, all of them, between bronze, silver, gold, platinum, and is there titanium as well? There's literally like a couple of percent between them. Alessa says, I don't need an ad blocker, I use Brave browser and it's built in. I'm tempted to go with the Brave browser. Someone tell me about their experiences. Is it worth using? Is there any drawbacks? Is there any sites that you cannot use because of it? Sorry, Kath, yeah, go on.
No, I was going to do the one underneath.
Senior Mobius is £100 for the Co-Link Continuum. Senior Mobius, yes, Co-Link Continuum, 850 watt modular power supply, 80 plus platinum, it's CCL. That might be worth a shout. I've used Co-Link power supplies, I've never used their Continuum, so I wouldn't comment on its quality or anything. Could be good. I guess if it's platinum, it's got to be pretty good. Chris Hartford says diminishing returns on the 80 plus efficiency. Yeah, I would say actually if you're looking for efficiency, you're probably better off in some respects. Rather than using a platinum power supply, use a gold one and then undervolt your CPU and GPU, which you'll probably find the undervolting would be far superior way of reducing your energy usage. Alessa says you can turn off the ad block for sites that don't like ad blockers. Okay. John Sullivan's here, says, hi, sorry I'm late. No need to apologise. Scott Tate says, FSP and Great Wall make most of Corsair's PSUs Seasonic was OEM many years ago. Yeah, actually, a lot of the ones I've looked at recently, power supply wise, have been mostly Great Wall. They've been the Corsair power supplies. Van Halen Bob says, I use Brave browser, definitely better and faster than Chrome, and it has a great ad blocker. See, my concern is that who owns Brave? Because I don't want to be putting in all my usernames and passwords and stuff like that into a browser.
But you've done it on Google.
Yeah, but it's owned by Google.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but Google are less, well, I say less likely. If something happens to Google, so say, because I've got Google accounts, so say for instance the YouTube account, for a prime example, if Google got hacked and something happened to my Google account attached to YouTube, obviously they are going to be able to deal with all the steps of sorting that out. And if there's money that's gone missing or whatever access, the channel gets deleted or whatever crazy stuff like that, obviously they can look at the logs of their own sites and their own stuff. Whereas if I give my information to a third-party browser like Edge or to Brave in this instance, or Opera or any of the others, that is just adding another kind of link or another site which actually has my usernames and passwords, even though if they're hashed or encrypted or whatever. It's just one of those things that I think, God, it's someone else that's got my information. Aletta says, Google says Brave software was co-founded by Brendan Eich, creator of JavaScript and co-founder of Mozilla, and Brian Bondi. G'day, Mr. Brian Bondi. How you doing, mate? Formerly of Khan Academy and Mozilla. Gotcha. Okay. Ordinary Dude says Firefox with tracking etc. turned off and AdBlock Plus extension, virtually zero ads anywhere.
It's not really about the ads.
Yeah, ads. I'm not particularly. I don't really care about ads. I'm just more. Just a more robust browser, I guess.
That's not filtering things.
Yeah. Well, not too. Yeah. That is the trouble these days. Like, even if you use Brave or any other browser, what search engine? Actually, yeah, this is we'll cut off from the bargains at the moment because this is actually something which I'm genuinely interested in. And being that there's a group of you around, you can probably answer these questions. It would be really useful to actually have the information. So, as a if you're using a browser other than Google Chrome, what search engine do you use?
Research.
Thank you. So James is using Netscape. No one else said anything yet. I'm genuinely interested to know because I've always found that the Google search engine has been very, very good and has generally provided me the results I needed to without giving me, like, if I use Microsoft Edge, almost 100%, if I search for something, it's going to give me either a fraudulent site, a virus, or some kind of bullshit like that. And I'm not doing it. I would like to use Edge, but the search engine is effing horrible. Stuart Cleary's coming to €10 super chat there. Says, do you think it will be reduced? I'll be looking for an NZXT Kraken Z73 AO cheaper than the 300 quid they cost now. I would say probably likely, yeah. Some of those high-end stuff is going to be generally reduced because it's a relatively decent profit margin there. I know NZXT, actually today, if you're looking for one of the Z1 cases, the little cube case, they've currently got that reduced down to $99.99. Which, with an AIO included and also a 650 watt power supply, is mental. Absolutely mental. So yeah, I think there's a strong chance that will be reduced. Aletta says, I use Cloudflare DNS because it's fast and helps block malware. Interesting. James Miscellaneous. Kath says pre-search. Mark Berry is using Chrome. James Miscellaneous says, I added words there which were not relevant. I use the Google search engine on my browsers. Bing is trash. Like Ned Ryerson trash. Ned Ryerson. Bing!
What's Tor browser?
Tor I don't think is a good thing, is it?
Don't know, Ugly Bob says I use that.
Yeah.
I don't search anything other than health.
John's saying normally Chrome, but I am sometimes using others. Nick Barnes saying sod Bing. Yeah, why? I don't. Oh God, why? Microsoft do some stupid things. Like they do some really clever things, but they do some god awful asinine things. And one of which is continuing to use Bing as a search engine. It is awful. It is absolutely horrendous. In fact, I'm going to show you, actually, let's try this as a quick, like, this is why you should never ever use this awful crap. Where is...
Tor is what you use if you want to access parts of the deep or dark web.
Yeah.
I'd be scared to go there.
Let's go Bing. Right. Bing search engine.
It's where people used to come in the cafe that I used to work in and be on their laptop nearly all day in there. They're bound to be on that dark web, weren't they?
Yeah. Right, this is the Bing search engine. Let's reject cookies because just why. So let's try a search now. Let's try hardware monitor because that's something I search for as a download. Quite often I'll do that. So actually, fair play, it's actually come up with the right one here. Normally when I do that, it comes up with some bizarre other site which has nothing to do with them, like this one here, hardware monitor free or something. You click on it and it tries to install all kinds of like weird shit.
On there again still.
Oh, sorry. So actually not too bad. Yeah, it's like this, cputemper.com and all this other weird stuff. That used to come up at the top. So actually that is a very reasonable improvement. So maybe it wasn't Bing, it was. Maybe it was just Microsoft. What's Microsoft's default one in Edge? I'm going to have to actually, can I open up Edge? Let's try that. I'll just put it onto the main screen just in case I'm logged in or anything. Oh, typical one there. Although, oh, there we go. So what is the URL for that site, whatever the hell that is? Let's try that. Hardware monitor. Oh no, fair play, it's come up with it. Maybe I've complained about it so many times that someone somewhere is actually listening and gone, do you know what? Our search engine is absolute horse manure. Like on Back to the Future. Anyway.
So when you open up that Edge window, that's an actual website, not advertising for a news. So that's an actual a search site.
What, Edge?
Yeah.
Edge is Microsoft's new version of their browser.
I thought it was just advertising their news stories.
It looks like it. Yeah, if you open up Edge, it's just, it's basically just ridiculous amounts of adverts. Ugly Bob says, you were talking about Katie Price earlier and she appeared in the suggested topics when you went into Bing. They are listening. They always are. They're all like it. They all are like it. It's ridiculous. Although saying that, Katie Price has probably done some stupid shit today, which wouldn't be that unusual. So I look in my my widget. Is she in there?
She's still in closer every single week.
Yeah.
I stopped buying it because of her and Kerry Katona.
No, I can't see. No, doesn't look like she's done anything, so it is actually being listened into. No. Just about the latest people who've dropped dead. Great, just what I want to hear. Really random review says Katie Price has to be one of the thickest people on earth. I can't work out whether she's one of the more intelligent ones or one of the thickest. I think there's a very big dividing line between the two, because she obviously is doing something right to maintain herself in the public eye for so many years. James Brock saying, to be honest, very, very glad Mike is not wearing that knit hat. Thanks, James. It's unlike you to say what you mean. Ugly Bob says she's dumber than spit.
Where does Ugly Bob get his words from there?
I don't know.
The order he puts them in are so cool.
Yeah. Mookie MC says I use Bing for the Bing rewards. Yeah, to be honest with you, I think that is quite a useful thing. David Andrew says Edge is very similar to Chrome, but with the ads. The ads are horrendous. DotSync says if you change Edge search settings to Google, the address bar will use Google search. If you use the box on the new tab, it uses Bing. Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? It's like you can change your browser, but it's still, in some way, you've got to change it to make it work. I kind of miss some of the other browsers of years gone by, like Alta Vista and Dogpile. What else was there? I'm trying to think. Ask Jeeves. That got crap after a while. But there was a lot of them. Nibba. Hey Mike, think that secure boot can make my PC hang on a cold boot? Didn't start until recently and I've only enabled FTPM as... Yes, it can do. Yeah, because secure boot, if the keys don't match with secure boot or there's something in your bootloader which doesn't or is different from the default settings, then it will stop your PC from booting to prevent potentially kind of viruses and that sort of stuff. Lycos, InfoSeek, yes, Netscape Navigator, that was always good.
Ugly Bob's just a bit.
Really random views says Gemma Collins, people think that it's cute. I think it's pure arrogance. She never took the time to learn anything, it seems. Yeah, I think you're not far off the truth there. Mark Berry says, who wants to make a career out of being a celebrity with no talent? Hi. my talent is very limited. What else is there? Brigman says, remember when Windows had a browser choice? I do, but you do have to bear in mind as well, this is something which is actually quite important and also actually is a meaningful thing. As the browser integration has become more and more so into Windows as an operating system, it has enabled some very cool ease of life features. So you can complain about it and not having the options, but the ease of life within the operating system is there. Sorry. David Underhill says, Safari from Apple is available for PCs. Why? No idea. Actually, Safari is not too bad, I don't think, is it? As a browser. Ugly Bob says, I've never met Katie Price, but if I ever do, I imagine she smells like a circus floor. Oh dear. Oh.
Did you read the one above there?
Oh, yeah.
God.
Oh dear Lord. Letter says, I finally moved to Windows 11 and had no problem making Brave my default browser. Van Halen Bob says, Edge took me to the edge. Mark Berry says, Opera used to be a good browser a few years back. I I've never really got involved with Opera. I've used it occasionally. One of the work PCs had it on. Didn't like it. Didn't like it at all. Senior Mobius says, who would have thought that Explorer would go the way of the Dodo when it was originally the only game in town? Yeah, the original Explorer was very, very good and it worked very well, but it started to get bloated because they decided it was a good form of ad revenue, so they just kept on pumping in more and more ads, more and more pop-ups, and Google saw an opportunity with a slimline search engine that just delivered results and was faster, because back then most of us had 56k modems if we were lucky, maybe even 28.8Ks. So you wanted it to be snappy. You didn't want all these graphics and pop-ups and adverts to load up. So having a very, very minimal white screen with a search box and a search engine and kind of 3 options, I think it was back then, which was search, I feel lucky. That was it, wasn't it? Search and I feel lucky. I think it was just 2 boxes. That was it. It was very, very minimal. Yeah, browsers are still going to be those way. It's one of those ease of life things. A browser becomes a much bigger entity than what it needs to be to make it easier for you to use and to store your passwords, store your settings, rather than go to every new site, type in your username and password. Because back in the day when browsers first came out, and online shopping wasn't really a thing, most sites didn't have anything. You didn't have cookies because they didn't need to track you.
Didn't have to log in.
Didn't have to log in. Didn't have to username, passwords, all that kind of stuff. So you just clicked on a link and a website would open. It was great. And then if you wanted to buy something, you could pick up a phone and ask for it. It is a weird thing. Just reading your comments there. Right, I think we've probably kicked the ass out of this more than what we would have done normally. So I think it's about time to wrap things up. I'm going to say, if you have any really cool deals and you want to share them with our community, head over to the Discord and put them in the chat there. There is a specific room for those sorts of things. Bargains, no chat. If you want to discuss bargains and deals, there is another room. So there's chat, bargains chat, or I think it's bargains chat. I can't remember. Someone let me know. Anyway, it is in there. That is it. Someone just said no Poppy tonight. She is actually in my chair. I'm going to show you where she is actually. Oh.
I was going to do it.
There's Poppy in my Boolish chair.
Because the fire's dying down.
Yeah, the fire's died down. So she's enjoying herself over there. Bless her.
And that's why I can't use my keyboard.
I'm not even in a face right now. Oh. Thanks, Bennis2K. So yeah, I think that's going to wrap things up. Thank you all so much for joining us on this Saturday evening. Hopefully, well, yeah, this time next week we'll be absolutely right deep into the bargains. Hopefully. Although I'm gonna put my neck out a little bit and say it's very likely that we'll be doing the stream and we'll be talking about something, I'll be building something and we'll be discussing the bargains that have been about, and we'll be asking that question is, we've seen the deals on Black Friday, it's now the Saturday, there's still some other deals, do we pull the trigger or do we wait for Cyber Monday? That is always the big conundrum. Do you, don't you? Do you jump in? It's a shame that actually a lot of sites don't do those kind of money pledge guarantees, like this will not be cheaper in 3 days, or this will not be cheaper within 7 days. That would give you a lot of confidence. Maybe that's something we should pressurize online web retailers to do, to actually give a price guarantee that they're not going to try and drop dramatically within the next couple of days after you make a purchase. I think that'd be a really good thing to do, that we should push for. Anyway, oh, David Underhill next week will be 68 years old.
Happy birthday,
wow.
David, for next week.
Happy birthday for next week. 68. I feel like 68 today. Anyway.
Next will be Bob's favourite.
Yeah, it will be. Thank
Not
you.
you.
Thank you all for joining us on this stream. Hopefully you have a great week, and yeah, we'll no doubt catch up in the week with some great deals. There will be some content coming out as well. So Monday's video is actually a really good one. If you're looking for a new graphics card and you're not too sure what to get, Monday's video is definitely going to point you in the right direction. Not going to give you a spoiler and tell you what it's about, but obviously you'll find out on Monday morning or evening, depending where you live. Anyway, I've been Mike. This is Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To, and we'll catch you. What the hell am I doing? Yeah, you know what I'm doing. See you next week. Thanks for watching. Say goodnight, Cav.
Good night.
Good night. Oh, which button is it? I'm losing my mind.